Welcome to the Rise of the Trades podcast, the show dedicated to helping you to build, grow, and scale your trades or construction business. All rise for your host, Craig Wilkinson.
Welcome to this week's coaching episode of the Rise of the Trades podcast, where we help trades and construction business owners to skyrocket leads, explode net profits without having to graft 60 hours a week and becoming that busy fool. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing with you the 5 critical, crucial, fundamental features and areas of your business that you need to implement right now to have any chance whatsoever in building, growing and scaling it to a point that's going to give you time and financial freedom, which I know for many of my listeners, you're miles away from right now. And arguably, this is going to be the most powerful, certainly the longest episode I've ever recorded. Why? Because the level of detail that I'm going to go into to make sure you fully understand the way in which you build, grow, scale, and even sell a business in the right way, I'm going to unleash all this lot on this episode. So you need to be grabbing your notepads, your pens, your tablets. You need to be making lots and lots of notes. And on top of that, I'm going to be sharing with you a number of different podcast episodes that I'm going to share with you that's going to go into even more granular detail for each one of these 5 areas. Now, before we go there, I'd just like to ask you a quick favour. And that is, if you're getting value from my weekly episodes, could I please ask you to hit either the follow or the subscribe button on whatever channel you're listening to this on right now? Because this is going to help the algorithm push my episodes out to more tradesmen and women that need our help and support. Now, let's transition over to this week's incredibly powerful coaching episode. Let me ask you a question. Who taught you to build, grow, scale a profitable business that's going to provide you and your family with the lifestyle that you deserve and the time and financial freedom that ultimately we're all in business to achieve? Who taught you how to do it? The answer to that is usually, Craig, nobody has. I've just literally set up a business for whatever reason you set up your business, and you're just winging it and you're making it up as you go along, and it's trial and error and you're learning by your mistakes. Well, that's exactly what I did, and it took me 12 long, hard years before the penny finally dropped and I realised, hang on a minute, you're skint, Craig, you're working stupid hours, you've got this big team, all these vans on road, you're turning over millions of pounds, but you're paying your fucking subcontractors more than you're paying yourself. What the hell is going wrong? What have I done wrong along this journey? And I'm going to share with you what I did wrong, because I'm guessing you're going to be making the same classic mistakes that I've made along my journey. And if you continue to make these mistakes and you continue to grow your business and scale it without having these 5 backbone areas nailed, you are just going to become the ultimate busy fool, where everybody's making money off you. You're the one that's putting all the graft in. You're the one that's bringing all the work in. You're spending time at evenings and weekends doing your paperwork and looking at jobs. You're the one that's now behind on HMRC. You're the one that's now spent the VAT money. You're the one that can't get paid for the next 2 weeks until your next invoice is due. You're the busy fool. You cannot scale a business if you are a busy fool and you haven't got these backbones in place. So we set up our business, and when we first set it up, let's be honest, because this is what most people do think. When you set up your business, you think, right, I'm going to set up my own business because I am going to make more money. You might not make more money, you might not appreciate that you're going to make more money immediately, but the long-term goal is I'm going to make more money, and because I'm my own boss, I can take as much time off, as many holidays, do what I want when I want, right? And that's what we think in them early days. But we have got absolutely no idea of what awaits us when we start to enter the 3 stages of business growth. Yes, there are 3 stages of business growth that we all go through. And if you get stuck in stage number 2, you will never ever get to where you want to be. You'll have more arguments at home with your husband, your wife, your children, your family, because you're constantly stressed out, overworked and overwhelmed. You'll be having problems with your team. Your marketing won't be generating you the right quality leads. You'll not be making profit because you don't understand the numbers in your business. That's what happens when you land in stage number 2. Now, here's your first episode that I want you to go and listen to after you've listened to this one. And it's episode number 2. Because in episode number 2, I walk you through the 3 stages of business growth. And you have to avoid stage number 2 at all costs. The sad reality is, almost every trades and construction business owner will get stuck in stage 2, and then they'll think that that is the norm. They will tell themselves and convince themselves and brainwash themselves that running a business has to be as hard as this. No, it hasn't. It doesn't have to be hard if you learn the backbone that I'm going to teach you. So, at the end of this episode, the first one I want you to go and check out is episode number 2. Now, the mistake that I made all them years ago, and the mistake that most people are making, and this could be you, is you think that growing a business and making more money is all around, right? The more leads I can get in, right, then the more jobs I can price. The more jobs I price, the more work I win. And if I've got more jobs running, and I've got more employees or subbies working for me, and I've got more vans on the road, and I've got bigger offices, all this lot is going to equal more profit. Well, let me tell you now, that is not how businesses run. And if you're stuck in that stage 2, and that's your mindset, the more work I have, the bigger the jobs, the bigger the value of the jobs, the bigger the officers. I've got 10 vans on road. I've got 20 members of staff. If you think that is all about growing a business, you're sadly mistaken, because that is not how you build and grow and scale a business. That's how you become the ultimate busy fool. Now, the challenge that some of you are going to have with this is that you have already started to build your business in the wrong order. You're not aware of it yet, but you have. So what you've got to do is, whilst your business is giving you these growing pains and teething problems, stress and hassle, whilst that's happening, you've now got to start to unpick all of the bad habits that you didn't realise that you've been putting in. You just thought that this is how you grew a business, and it's not. So you've got to start unpicking all them bad habits before you can put things right. For the people that are new to business, or you might be listening to this thinking, I want to set up on my own, Craig. I'm going to hand me notice and I'm going to go and set up on my own. Perfect. Make sure that you follow these 5 areas in the exact order in which I tell you to build your business in. Because if you were to build a business from scratch in this order, I'm telling you now, the growth would be incredible. You wouldn't have hardly any teething problems, pain points, challenges, frustrations, cash flow problems, dodgy members of your team, shit leads coming in. You won't have any of that, because you're building your business from the foundations up the right way. So what I want you to consider is this. If you've got a established business now that's giving you a bit of grief, I want you to, one, think about how you're going to unpick that. But two, could you imagine setting up from scratch and doing it the way I'm going to share with you? How much quicker and easier, and how many years of grief that you'd have saved yourself if you'd have done it this way. Okay? So grab your notepads, grab your pens, and let's get to it. Area number 1 is mindset and personal development. I am telling you now, the key to your success lies within yourself. It lies within your own mindset, and it lies within whether you've got a fixed, closed, negative, or growth, positive, bulletproof mindset. You see, the business, your business, is not the problem. The problem in your business is you, the business owner. So the business is never the problem. The problem is always the mindset of the business owner. Look, there are people out there right now that are doing what you do. You aspire to be like certain people or certain businesses. So what is it that they've got that you haven't? Because you've got the same amount of time as them each week. You've got 168 hours, so you can't blame time. And you can't blame money. Oh, they've got more money than me. Yeah, they've got more money than you because they've learned how to make more money, because they've got the mindset of learning how to make more money. Are you with me? So your business is not the problem. I know this might sound a bit tough and a bit of a kick up the backside to start off with, but you're the problem. Your mindset is the problem within your business. So, if you want to build and grow and scale your business and take it to heights and levels that it's never been to before, then surely you've got to build, grow, and scale yourself, ready to help you take your business to them next heights and that next level. Because with the mindset that you've got right now, you can't take it to where I'd want to take you to, because you can't cope with it. You can't cope with the pressure. You can't cope with the financial burden. You can't cope with the time burden. You can't cope because you've employed the wrong staff. You can't cope because your marketing's not generating you the leads. You can't cope with the next move, the next lift, the next level, because your headspace and your mind is not in the game. It's not where it needs to be. So the key to your success is mindset and personal development. And if you were to ask any of my Inner Circle members, right, on Craig's program, what is the number one key to your success? What is it that's done it for you? Every single one of them will say, it's not profit, it's not time, it's not systems, it's not team, it's not cash flow, it's not lead generation, it's me. It's developing me to get me to that next level so I can take my business to that next level. Okay? Now, for some of you, you might be on your mindset and personal development journey. In today's day and age, it's everywhere, isn't it? So you might already be on it. For others, you might be sat there thinking exactly the same as what I was thinking 18 years ago when I got into this. What on earth is he on about? Positive mindset and all what? I think positive and things are going to happen in my life. Yeah, they are. But because you don't believe it's going to be happening, because you've got a negative or closed or fixed mindset, and you've got bad habits, and then bad habits of putting pressure on you, and that pressure on you and your business is causing you to make the wrong decisions, or you can't see the woods for the trees, or you don't know how you're going to get out of this financial situation that you're in. So now debt and worry and sleepless nights are kicking in. You're working long hours, and you're sacrificing that time that you should be spending with your family. So now you're knackered and fatigue set in and you're burnt out. Listen, how can you grow a business if you're thinking and behaving like that? You can't. So the first thing that's got to change is you. You've got to change. We've got to replace them bad habits with new habits. You've conditioned yourself to act, behave, believe, and take action in a certain way. And that has got you to the point where you're at right now. But if you're not happy with where you are right now, clearly what you've been doing hasn't been working. It's brought you to this point, but it's not going to take you to the heights that you want to get to without something shifting and changing. So write this down, right? There are 4 steps to generating results in your business. You can't just say, I'm going to have a new website and all my problems are going to be solved. You can't just say, oh, if I could only land that one big job, that one job where I make all that money will get me out of debt. Listen, it's not coming unless you go and find it and do something to get it. So these are the 4 steps to achieving results. Step number 1 is mindset, accepting, do you know what? It might have got a point here. I do need to start working on myself and my mindset and my personal development, because if I can put myself in a better place, then I can put my business in a better place. So number 1, step 1 is accepting you've got to change your mindset. You've got to have a shift. Step number 2 is motivation. Because when we've got the right mindset, and we get you motivated and fired up, and you've got a spring in your step, and you're positive, and you've got energy, and we're going to get shit done. Nothing's going to stop in us way. We're going to dominate. Come on, bring it on. That type of hairs on your arms motivation. You've got to motivate yourself to get your business to where you want it to be. Nobody else is going to motivate you other than you. So if you're demotivated, if you're stuck in a bit of a rut, if you're on a negative downward spiral, if all the luck you ever get is bad luck, right? You've got to shift your mindset and motivate yourself and give yourself a kick up the arse, because nobody's coming to save you. The only person who can save you is you. Step number 3. When we've got the right mindset and we're motivated, step number 3 is action. Action. When we're motivated, we can start to take action, new action on the knowledge and the learnings that you're getting from these podcast episodes. But if you're demotivated, you might be listening to these episodes, but I can't be asked to do anything. Craig, it's too much like hard work. And now all of a sudden you've got excuses and you're sat on your pity potty making excuses on why you can't do things. Listen, the only way you're going to get these results is by you getting off your arse and taking massive, massive action. Okay? Step number 4 in this equation equals results. Because if you're taking massive action in the right areas of business, like I'm teaching you, and you do it in the order in which I tell you to do it in, then that action is going to equal new results, bigger growth, more profit, more time back, more profitable leads, right? That's what it's going to equal. So first of all, 1, you've got to accept that you need to change something, and that is you, mindset. Number 2, you need to get yourself fired up and motivated, which some of you are going to struggle with because you're that far gone that you're going to struggle getting yourself motivated. But remember, there's only you that can do it. Number 3, when we get that motivation, you're going to take what you're learning on these episodes and you're going to get off your backside and you're going to go away and you're going to start taking action and you're going to start implementing things. And when you do that on a consistent basis, the compound effect kicks in and that equals, bang, a big result. And when you start to see the results coming in for that new action that you've been putting in, when you start to see that and you can start to feel it and you're still motivated, it's like, game on, bring it on, Craig. What do I do next? I can see it's working. Tell me what I need to do next. Then all of a sudden you get momentum and you're starting to spend time working on your business every week because you know that that action working on your business is now generating you new leads, new results, new profit. So here's what I want you to do. If you are sat there thinking, do you know what? It is me, that Craig. I have fallen into a rut. I have gone a bit negative and things have been a bit tough for me recently. I get it. Nobody's beating you up. I've been there. I were on my knees. I had sweet FA, so I know what it feels like. Many of my inner circle members start the inner circle in that exact position. That's why they come to me for the coaching, because they're at that exact position. The thing is, you've got to acknowledge it and then you've got to do something about it. So here's what I want you to do. Number one, you've got to put time in what I call your default diary. You've got to put time in your diary every week for you. And I know that you're going to say, I don't have time for me because my business takes all my time, or my family, or my children, dancing, football, training, or whatever. I sacrifice all my time for other people. I get that. But you are the most important person to yourself, to your business, and to your family. So you are no good to anyone if you're burnt out and you're negative and you're doom and gloom. So you've got to put time in your diary to spend on you every single week, working on that motivation, okay? Number two, I want you to start to develop a new morning routine. So whatever you're doing in the morning, what can you do different in the morning that's going to help you, not hinder you? Could you get up maybe half an hour or an hour earlier? Could you get up and go for a walk? Could you go to the gym? Could you consume some motivational content on Spotify or YouTube or on a podcast? Could you do a bit of meditation? What can you do first thing in the morning that starts to break them bad habits and the rut that you're stuck in? Number three, likewise, at evening, you need to change your evening routine. Because for some of you, your evening routine is you come in, you have your tea, you switch your laptop on and you're working till midnight every night doing your quotes and your paperwork. That's got to stop. You're going to damage your family and your relationships doing things like that. So what can you do at evening? Is it a case of, do you know what? We're going to sit down as a family and we're going to have a family meal, phones away, phones off at table, and we're going to talk as a family. It could be that. It could be, right, do you know what? I'm going to switch off at 6 o'clock, no laptops, no mobile phones, no pinging, no zaps, no WhatsApps, no nothing. I'm not doing anything from this time, and give that time to you and your family. It could be an evening that you get a gratitude journal and you write down all the wins of the day and your intentions on what you're going to achieve the next day. Are you with me? So you need a new morning and you need a new evening routine where you just start to do one thing every day for a week or two, and then when that becomes a good habit that you've introduced, we bring another one in, and then you'll be doing two things, and then you run that for another maybe month, and when that becomes a habit, you bring a third thing in, and all of a sudden we start to shift away from him being in that negative downward spiral morning and dodgy evening routines, and we start to replace it with things that are going to start to benefit us. Likewise, I want you listening to motivational content. What content gets you fired up? What music? What guest speakers? What motivational speakers? What is it? Who is it that gets you fired up, that when you listen to them, it puts a spring in your step and it gets that energy pumping? Okay? Likewise, as well as motivational content, I want you to listen to educational content. And that's exactly what you're listening to now. Because remember, if we can get motivated to take action on the knowledge that we're learning, then we get the results. So we want the motivation to fire us up, but we need the education, so we're learning new knowledge that we can then go and implement. I also want you looking at yourself, right? And what I mean by that is, some of you may well have let yourself go, right? I did. Many of us in past have done. We let ourselves go. We all used to have hobbies before we started a business, but all of a sudden we don't have time for them hobbies anymore. So that might have been, I don't know, maybe football with the lads or the lasses. My daughter plays football. She's in an under-18s team. So it's either football, might be a sport that you used to do that you've let go by wayside. Maybe you used to go to gym, but now you can't go to gym because you're telling yourself you ain't got time and you ain't got the energy and you're not motivated to go to gym. So what are you going to do for you? How can we get the exercise back into our weekly routine? What do we need to do? Because if we're not motivated and energized, that's going to have a negative effect on our business. We're sluggish. We're not making the right decisions. We can't be arsed and I'll do that tomorrow, but tomorrow never comes. Are you with me? So your exercise, getting that blood pumping around that body is vital to your success. Likewise, what about your diet and your health and your well-being? Because years ago, I used to literally come in from work, first bad habit I used to do, go to the fridge, knock the bottle top off, bottle of Peroni, neck one of them. Before I know it, I was 6-8 bottles into it, right, every night. Then you get the takeaways. So you're having a curry every week and then you're having takeaways and pizzas and all diet goes out at pan. So you're drinking poison, you're eating poison, and all that lot is having a negative effect on your body, on your energy, and on your mindset. So do we need to knock ale on the head, slow down on it a bit, maybe change his diet, maybe start eating a little bit healthier, okay? And the final thing I want you to consider is surrounding yourself with what I call a new circle of influence. And that is surrounding yourself with people that are going to help lift you higher, help lift you to that next level. Not your mates who to your face are nice to you, but behind the scenes, they're just praying that you fail because they don't want you to succeed. Are you with me? They're just praying that you fail so they can turn around and say, I told you so, you shouldn't have done it, you shouldn't have set up on your own, you weren't clever enough, you didn't have enough drive, passion, whatever, right? You need to stop hanging around with people like that. Come and hang around with me. Come and hang around with my Trades Freedom Club Facebook group. And surround yourself with thousands of other trades business owners that are all on the same journey as you, that are all there to help and support each other and lift each other to that next level. It's really important that you're surrounding yourself with positive people that are going to help you, not hinder you. So, I said I was going to share with you a couple of additional episodes at the end of each one of these areas. So what I want you to do, I want you to write down episode number 9 and episode number 10. Because in 9 and 10, I go into routines, mindset, personal development in a lot more detail that will give you a lot more clarity. I even share with you my personal daily routine, all right? I give you everything. So check out episodes 9 and check out episodes 10 to further your own education on mindset and personal development. Area number 2, the finances and the numbers within your business. Most people do not understand and know the numbers in their own business. They've heard of different things and different phrases, but in actual fact, they're actually winging it with the numbers in the business. And they're hoping and they're praying that there's enough money left at the end of that job to have paid the labour, paid the materials, covered their overheads, paid the VAT, paid the tax. And they're keeping the fingers crossed to think, do you know what, once I've paid that lot out, I'm hoping and praying that there's enough left in pot to pay me. You, the business owner, the person that's got all that responsibility. And some of you, I know for a fact, again, because I've been here, I know some of you will not even be paying yourself. There'll be weeks, maybe months, different jobs that you go without because you're having to pay everybody else before you're paying yourself. So technically, you're the best employee ever because you're working for free. I mean, who on earth works for free? Do your subbies work for free for you? No, nobody works for free. But some of you will be because you're not taking your money. Some of you will be paying them subbies a lot more than you're paying yourself. So even though you're running the business, these subbies have got a life of Riley. They rock up, they get the tools out, they get the day rate, their hourly rate, the price, whatever. And by the time they've walked away and they're earning a couple of grand a week and you've not even been able to pay yourself. Some of you have got no idea how to even price a job correctly. You don't know how to price a job. And some of you will be looking at it and you'll be pricing it, however you're winging it and doing it. And then you'll look at the price and then you'll say this to yourself. Do you know what? That looks a bit steep. Flipping heck. Would I pay that? Can I put that price in? Am I going to win the job if I put it in at that? And then what you do is you start questioning your price. And then what you do is this. You just pluck a figure out of fresh air. And you go, do you know what? I tell you what, I'll knock 500 quid off it. What does that look like? Oh, yeah, that looks a bit better. I'll knock 500 quid off it and I'll put it in. Or you might be building an extension and you've come in and it's like 150 grand and you think, okay, hell, that looks a lot, that. I tell you what, I'll just knock 10 grand off it. I'll put in it at 140 because you've got no ideas of the numbers in your business. Some of you will be taking deposits, which is great, but that deposit money for that future job, you're now using somebody else, another customer's money to finish the job off you're on now because you've run out of money. Some of you will be using your VAT money, the 20% that you should be putting to one side for HMRC. Some of you will have used that as an overdraft facility. And now, when your VAT return's due, you've got no money to pay your VAT. Or what about you guys that don't know how to set aside your tax money? Whether that's your corporation tax money for a limited company, or whether it's your self-assessment tax that you pay, let's say, at the end of every January, and your accountant gives you a tax bill and says, right, you owe HMRC X amount of thousands, and you're sat there going, where the fucking hell's money? Where's the money gone? There's no money. And then all of a sudden now you're getting yourself into debt. You're taking bank loans, you're taking credit cards, you're taking overdrafts because of your bad management of money. Are you with me? Now, one of the main reasons why you have to get top side of these numbers is this. Some of you will be offering services or offering a product or service to a customer that is making you no money. You're either breaking even or you're making a loss. But because you don't understand the numbers in your business, you just keep taking work on, right? Because you need to keep busy. You've got a mortgage to pay. You've got overheads to pay. So you take on almost any type of work. And for those that have got a team, when times get a little bit tough and it looks like you're running out of work for your team, what do? Panic stations set in. So you take anything and everything on, and you take work on that you wouldn't normally do just to keep your lads busy. I mean, what a ridiculous business decision that is. So the reason why we have to understand the numbers is this. I don't want you offering loads of different products and services. I want you niching down to certain products or services within your trade, that makes you the profit. Because what's the point of doing something and going and doing a job if you know that it's going to break even or make you no money? There's no point in even doing it. Why do it? You'd be better off not doing the job because you're not going to make any money, right? So you're in no worse position. But instead of doing the job, you save the time and you invest the time back into your business, learning how to make more profit. Are you with me? So we have to identify what products and services are making us a loss and get rid of them and then replace them with more of the jobs that make us profit. But if you don't know the numbers in your business, you won't know what's making you profit and what's making you a loss. You'll be losing money on one job, making money on the other, but the money that you've lost has now taken away from the money that you've made. Now you've broke even. Why? You're not in business to break even. You're in business to make profit. That's what you're in. to make profit. So, one, we have to understand the numbers so we know what products and services we're going to be selling. And these are the numbers that I want you to get to grips with first. So I'm going to share some of the numbers that you need to go away and get to grips with. If you don't know how to do this, or you don't know any of these numbers, you must speak to your accountant, right? That's what they're there for. Your accountant is there to help you to grow your business, make more profit, and reduce your tax bill. But you might have got one of these accountants that only ever contacts you once every blue moon. Or they only contact you when they need information about your VAT or your corporation tax, and you hardly hear anything from them. If you've got an accountant like that, you need to get shut of them and get shut of them quick, because accountants aren't there to just do your self-assessment tax returns, your wages and your invoicing. Your accountants are there to make you more profit and to stop you overpaying on taxes and advise you where to put your profit, whether to put it into commercial property or put it into a pension, tax-free. That's what an accountant should be doing. So your accountant needs to help you with these numbers if you don't understand them. And if you don't understand them, trust me, you are in the majority, because the majority of people do not know these numbers. They've heard of them, but they don't know how to work the figures out. So this is what you need to work out. Sit down with an accountant and go through this. Number one, your gross profit margins. Number two, your net profit margins. Number three, your profit and loss statement. And that profit and loss statement could be per job that you're running, or it could be, well, let's run a profit and loss statement on how we've done over the last month. So it can be per job, or it can be per period of time, or both. Number four, cash flow forecasting. You need to be cash flowing out, your money coming in and your money going out of your bank. Number five, you need to work out what your break-even figure is. In other words, how much does it cost you to switch the lights on in your business? Because whether you do one job next week or 100 jobs next week, you've got fixed costs, you've got overheads that you've got to pay regardless of how many jobs you do. You need to know what that break-even figure is. In other words, how many boilers do I have to fit? How many solar panels do I have to fit? How many doors do I have to hang? How many scaffolds do I have to put up? How many gardens or paving slabs do I have to lay to break even before I've even made a profit? Next one, hourly rate. You have to understand how to work out your hourly rate correctly so that when you're doing your pricing, you've got the right numbers and the right figures in your pricing. And the final one is balance sheets. So if you're a limited company, you really need to be reading and understanding the balance sheet, because the balance sheet is the only fluid document within your whole accounting process that's going to tell you exactly where your business is as of that day or that hour, as long as your accounts are up to date. Everything else, your profit and loss and your gross margin and your net margin, that's happened because the job's been and gone, right? But the balance sheet is if we were to wrap everything up today, pay our suppliers off, pay all us HMRC and VAT, pay everybody we owe money to, and then get all of our invoices into our bank, what we got left. And your balance sheet is important because if you're looking for investment, or you decide, like I do, I build, grow and sell businesses. If you're looking to sell a business, your balance sheet has got to be as healthy as it can be. So we've got to understand those numbers as a basic in our business. And if you're sat there now saying, I don't know what these numbers are, Craig, I've heard of them, I sort of like my accountants mention them to me, but they go over my head, or I've seen them somewhere in QuickBooks or Xero, but I don't understand it, then come on. You're in the business of making profit. How can you make profit if you don't even understand the numbers? And this is why so many trades business owners get themselves in a financial pickle, or even worse, have to go bust and liquidate the businesses because they don't understand the basics of running a business. So we have to understand these numbers in our business, because these numbers are going to tell us what products and what services we need to be selling, which then leads on to the next area, which is marketing strategy, because it's then going to tell us what products and services we need to get laser focused on marketing to attract more of. Okay? Now, the episodes that I want you to go and check out for cash and finance and knowing the numbers are episode number 7 and episode number 18. 7 and 18, go and drill down on them if you need help with your numbers, because they're going to give you a lot more depth and a lot more information. Area number 3, marketing strategy. Now, before we get into marketing strategy, I want to just rewind and remember, we're building this business in the right order and the right way. We've already alluded to that if you've already got an established business, some of these orders that we're doing them in, you'll have done them in the wrong order, which is causing you grief. For others who haven't set up a business yet, you've just hit a gold mine here. You just struck gold, because you're going to build your business in these areas in this order. So if we rewind and we think about it, we set up a business, we get the mindset right, and we start to get motivated, we start to get new knowledge in, and we start to look at new ways of building and growing a business, taking ourselves to that next level so we can take this business to that next level. The next thing that we would look at are the numbers in our business, and we'd establish what these numbers are, how to read them, and then we'd start to get the pricing right, make sure that we're making profit, and then we'd look at the numbers and we'd say, right, we're not going to be doing any more of that work because it don't make us profit. What we are going to focus on is we're going to focus on that type of work because that's what makes us profit. Are you with me? So we've got the mindset, we know the numbers, so now we know that anything that we are going to be supplying, fitting or offering is going to make us profit from day one. Where some of you will have never have done that. You've just winged it and you've done anything, which is why you're not making money. So area number 3 is marketing strategy. And I know what some people are going to say, and that is, Craig, I get that, and my most profitable service is X. It's this, right? But I don't get enough leads coming into my business every day to continuously fit that product or that service. I need to fill the time in with other things. No, you don't. That's what a fixed, closed, negative mindset person would say. What we do is we then start to look at your marketing strategy and we say, okay, right now, if you're an established business, I get that you haven't got enough leads coming in to just fit X products or service. But if we get our marketing strategy absolutely laser focused on attracting more of those jobs to us, then over a period of time, what's going to happen is there's going to be a transition start to happen, because you're going to start to get more and more and more leads for that particular service that's making you the money. And the more of them leads that come in and the more of them jobs that we do, we can then start to dilute the leads and the jobs that aren't making us money. So there's a transition. And this is what I did years ago. When I didn't know my numbers in my business, I was doing everything. I was doing first fix joinery, second fix joinery. I'm a bench joiner by trade, so I was doing bench joinery. I was building extensions. I was doing loft conversions. I was doing garage conversions. I was doing basement conversions. I was doing refurb. I was doing shop fitting. I was doing bar fitting. I was doing it all because I could. But that's what made me a busy fool. It's only when I ran the numbers and I got top side of the numbers for the first time, which took me 12 long, hard years to do. But when I did the numbers, it worked out that loft conversions made me the most amount of profit than anything else that I did. So does it not make sense to sack everything else off and just do loft conversions full time? Yes. So what did I do? I set up a loft conversion company, and while I was getting all the marketing right and getting the strategy right for that, I had to do some of the work that I didn't want to do, that I knew weren't really making me a great deal of money. But once the marketing strategy kicked in for the lofts, all of a sudden, I started generating leads for lofts, which meant every single day, me and my team were going to work for them 8 to 10 hours on tools. Every time we were doing a loft, we were maximising profitability. And then all of a sudden, we were getting that many leads coming in for loft conversions. All the other stuff that I was doing, I could just stop doing because now all I'm doing is lofts. And that's what were making me the money. So, once you've identified what's making you the money, the next thing is we get the marketing laser focused, right? But most people will be doing the old standard, old school marketing that all your competitors are doing. You're not doing anything different or standing out from your competitors. You're posting the wrong content at the wrong times on social media. Your marketing's not starting to work because your marketing messaging's not right. You don't understand your customers' pain points and desires. You've had a website built for $2,500 that's materialised to be a bog standard brochure website with no SEO, so you're never going to get found on Google. You've been spending money on Google ads and Facebook ads, having a punt and chucking a couple £100 behind this and a couple £100 behind that, and then sending that traffic from your paid ads back to your shitty website that's never going to convert. Your branding's awful. It's just a mess. All of this is probably what's happening in your business. Because if you're not generating the leads coming in from your target market in the highest concentration for profitable jobs, and you're milking it, and you're number one in your town or city and you're dominating, then something's wrong with your marketing. You're doing the same as everybody else is doing. And I'm telling you now, in today's day and age, in this noisy, competitive world where everybody's fighting for all them leads, right? If you're not going to do things different, and if you're not going to stand out, and you're not going to dominate, which is a word I use a lot of in my coaching, dominate that market, then you're just another plumber, another sparky, another builder, another bricky, another landscape gardener, another plasterer, another joiner, right? You're never going to scale a business and get it to them heights if you're just another number. You've got to stand out. You've got to dominate your market. And when I've stood on stages, even my own stages at my own events, and there's hundreds and hundreds of people there, and I talk about marketing, I talk about dominating, I talk about being the first across the finishing line, being at the forefront of cutting edge technology and AI and apps and everything else that we've got at our disposal. That's where I want to be. I'm a winner. I don't want to come second. I'm not happy coming third. I don't want to come last. I want to win the race. The only way I'm going to win the race is if I'm the best, if I dominate. And I've had people come up to me in my own events and say, Craig, that were a great presentation, took loads of it from it, but, this dominating and, you're wanting to crush your competitors and wipe them all out and all this. It's a bit strong, that, innit? Do you really want to do that? And I look at them and I go, what the hell are you on about? Should you even be in business if you want to pussyfoot around and come second? In today's day and age, we can't do that. We've got to dominate our market and we've got to take over our competitors and our market share, because to scale our businesses, we need more leads than we're getting now. And if we're struggling to get the quality leads now, doing the marketing that we're currently doing, how on earth are you supposed to generate more leads that are more profitable from better quality customers? You can't. So you've got to stop doing the bog standard marketing that every mofo's doing, and you've got to do things completely different, like I teach my inner circle members. And when you implement the marketing strategies that I teach, then you too will start to dominate your market. Now, check out episode number 21. Episode number 21. Because one of my inner circle members, Ben Curry, who I've recently interviewed, I've just helped him generate 1 million, that's right, £1 million of sales. I'm not talking lead gen, I'm talking actual work, sales. He generated more than £1 million worth of leads, but he actually converted them leads to £1 million worth of sales for his electrical and his renewable company. How did he do that? He did it by being different. He did it by implementing my 3C video marketing formula, and he implemented it on TikTok. TikTok, right? A platform that most people think that it's just full of kids dancing and messing around. I'm telling you now, if you're a tradesperson and you are not dominating on TikTok, you're missing out. So what did Ben do? He's motivated, he's got the right mindset, he took the knowledge, he implemented it, he put it onto TikTok, he generated £1 million worth of sales from TikTok, and we've just took his business from turning over 300 grand to 1.3 million. Why? Because he's prepared to do what some of you guys are not prepared to do. That's do things different. Now, there are literally 50 different marketing strategies I can share with you that are guaranteed to work, because they work for me, they work for my inner circle members, that will generate you more profitable leads. However, let's start with the foundations first, and let's get the foundations right first. The first thing that you've got to do is, once you've worked out what is your most profitable product or service, you've then got to work out who is that target market that's going to buy that product or service. Because your target markets will change depending on the product or the service that you offer. So for an example, you might be a plumber or a plumbing and heating engineer. Your target market that wants a new bathroom suite fitted is a completely different target market to the person that boiler has just broken down and they need a price for a new boiler. You're still doing plumbing and heating, but they're two different services, so you've got two different target markets with two different marketing messages. The marketing message for the customer that wants a bathroom fitting is a completely different message to the customer who wants the boiler fitting. Two different target markets with two different lots of marketing messaging. So the first thing that you've got to do is you've got to identify who your target market is specifically for that product or service. And then once we've identified who they are, the next part of the equation is where can we find them in the highest concentration, both online and offline. So this might be, well, actually, my target market are business owners that are in the commercial sector that have got businesses that are over this size, employing this amount of staff, and I need to speak to ideally the buyer or the estimator of that business. Right. Where you're going to find them is on LinkedIn. But it may well be someone like Ben that's fitting solar PV. We identified, or Ben identified, that his target market were on TikTok. Now, most of you would think, on TikTok? But that's because Ben got off his backside and he went and learned where his target market hung out. So they were on TikTok. So Ben's not going to market what on LinkedIn when his target market are on TikTok. So you find them where they are online. Likewise, where are they offline? Maybe they belong to local groups or communities. Maybe they're part of a certain team or church or community, or maybe they're in a certain postcode area, or maybe they all hang around at a certain place. Maybe your target market go to this golf club. Are you with me? So where do they hang out online and where do they hang out offline? And then what we do is we create the content that speaks direct to that target market about that product and service that's going to make us more profit. So number one, I want you to identify your target market. But I also, as part of this foundations, want to share 4 words that I want you to write down. Because these 4 words are the type of marketing that you're going to have to start to do to attract that target market to you. So write these 4 words down, because this all forms part of what I call my attract strategy. Right? Write these 4 words down. The first word is know. K-N-O-W. And what we need to do is we need to create some specific content that talks direct to that target market that is going to buy that profitable product and service offers. And we've got to get them to know that we exist. Because for many of you, you will be the best at what you do and you could dominate in your area if you got the right marketing strategy. But because nobody knows about you, because you're not marketing your business in the right way, only a handful of people know about you. So therefore, you're never going to scale your business. So what we do is we create content, or you create content, that's specifically designed to get people to know you and your business. And that is it. The only purpose of that know content is to get people to know who you are, what your business does, and that you exist. The second piece of content that you're going to create is the word like. Write it down. L-I-K-E, like. Because you, the business owner, you are personally more valuable to your business than what your business name is or what your business logo or branding is. Because people want to now, in today's day and age, they want to get to know and like the person that they're going to be dealing with. And when I look on a lot of people's websites, when people say, Craig, review my website for me, tell me where I'm going wrong. One of the biggest things that are missing is there is no photos, there's no images, there's no videos of them, you personally, or your team. So you are a faceless company, and people don't want to deal with faceless companies. They want to know who they're speaking to. They want to know who's going to come out and do the home survey or the site survey. They want to know who's going to be rocking up with the tools and working in their house or office. They want to know you. The point of social media is it's social. It's to get people to know you. So what we do is we create a second set of content, and that content is just to get people to like you, the business owner, right? So you've got to be on videos, you've got to be on images, you've got to be on your website, you've got to be on social media, you've got to be in your brochures, you've got to be on your lead magnets, you've got to be on your landing pages. You've got to be in all these places because people are buying from you. They're not buying from your logo. So we create content that's designed to get people to like you. The third word I want you to write down is the word trust. Trust. And that is, you might get to know someone and you might know what their business does. You might even like that person, but you don't trust them as far as you can throw them, so you'd never buy off them. Are you with me? So the word trust comes into it because what we need to do is create content that gets people to trust us. Because if we can get them to know us, get them to like us, and get them to trust us, we're almost there. Are you with me? So how do we get people to trust you? Well, the number one way to get people to trust you is video testimonials. Video testimonials from your happy customers and clients saying, do you know what? We got Craig out to come and give us a price for this loft conversion. Do you know what? It wasn't the cheapest. We had cheaper prices than Craig, but his communication, his professionalism on what he showed to us, his timescales and his promises of getting back to us with prices and quotes were fantastic. Do you know what? They turned up on day. They said they were going to turn up. They were clean. They were tidy. They were on time. They were on budget. They respected my home. Do you know what? We didn't even know they were here. Anybody considering a loft conversion, I would highly recommend Craig and his business. So where's all your video testimonials of your happy customers and clients telling the world how amazing you are? And we turn your happy customers into a sales team so they're selling the product and service on your behalf. You don't even have to sell it. Do you get me? So where's all the video testimonials as that trust? Where are all the reviews? All the 5-star Google reviews, Trusted Trader reviews, Which Trusted Trader reviews, Trustpilot reviews. Where are all them reviews? Please tell me you've got more reviews than any of your competitors, or otherwise you're not dominating, are you? So where's all them reviews? Because them reviews also build trust. Where are all your case studies that are sat on your website? In other words, a picture of you and Mr. or Mrs. Jones. You know, you've just fitted the boiler or the consumer unit, or you've just finished the extension, or you've just plastered up the back bedroom, or you've just rendered the house. Where's the photos of you and them stood outside the house or stood next to the boiler, shaking hands with them, handing them a thank you card or a bottle of champagne? Where are those case studies? Because case studies build trust. And video testimonials, reviews and case studies as examples, these are what we call social proof. So this is social proof that you can solve the problem that your potential customer has got. And we turn your happy customers and clients into a sales team. So we create content specifically around getting people to trust you. Now, I said there were 4, so write the 4th word down. The 4th word is the word confidence. Confidence. And confidence in marketing is an emotional trigger. Because when we can hit the emotional trigger of confidence in the content that we've been creating, whether that's content we've put on social media, whether that's content on our landing pages, whether that's content on our website, our blog, our vlog, our TikTok, our Instagram. When there's confidence in a potential customer that they've got to know you and they know your business, they've got to like you, the business owner. They've got to trust you that you can solve their problem. That equals confidence. And when that equals confidence, that equals a new warm lead. A new warm lead. Okay? So what I want you to focus on is identifying that target market for that most profitable product and service so we can sell more of it. And then start to create content that gets people to know you, like you, trust you, and builds confidence in you around that product and service. Not around products and services that don't make you money or break even. What's the point of wasting time creating marketing content to attract those leads? We don't want them. We want to make some money, don't we? We want to make some net profit. Right, create the marketing to attract those customers to your business. Now, I'm going to share with you 2 other marketing episodes that I want you to go away and check out. And these are episodes number 11, which is all around how to identify your target market, right? Because there's 9 characteristics to identify your B2B, business to business, and B2C, business to consumer target markets. You need to work out who them 9 are, and in episode 11, I give you all that knowledge. Likewise, the vast majority of businesses have got websites, and the websites are pants, they're poor. Honestly, they're rubbish. They don't generate you any leads, or they generate you odd lead, and maybe that odd leads from a time waster and tire kicker. And that's because you're missing the 16 fundamental features that you've got to put on your website to turn it into an inquiry generating machine. So to discover what those features are and to learn what you need to add to your website that's currently missing, go and check out episode number 16, and that'll help you identify what them features are. So, look at what we're covering so far. We've got the right mindset. We're starting to develop ourselves. We're fired up, we're pumped up, we're motivated. We're going to run through brick walls. Yet our customers are moaning, groaning, sluggish, no motivation, attracting time wasters, spent the VAT money, spent the tax money, they're stressing, they're worrying, they've employed a shit team, right? But you're not. You're going to take the world on. So we've got that right. Number 2, we've looked at the numbers. We know what's going to make us profit. So we're going to market the hell out of it. Step number 3, market the hell out of that profitable product and service. So you're only attracting leads that's going to make you money. You see where I'm going with this? There's an order to it. So let's now move over to step and area number 4. Area number 4 is systems and automations. Systems and automations. Because if you think about it, we're now attracting profitable leads coming into our business. But I don't want you to generate the same amount of leads that you're getting right now, because that's not going to scale your business. You're going to want more leads coming into your business than you've ever had before. So let's just say, for argument's sake, that I were to 10 times the amount of leads coming into your business every week from this point on. Because let's face it, when we get our marketing strategy right, this is exactly what we should be doing. We should be 3 times, 5 times, 8 times, 10 times in your leads coming into your business, ready to scale. But if I 10 times the amount of leads coming into your business, how the hell are you going to cope with 10 more leads that you've got to deal with every single week? And I know some of you will be sat there, banging your chest going, yeah, bring it on, I can do it. No, you can't do it. You can't do it because bringing 10 times more leads into your business that are all vetted leads, so they're all potential warm vetted leads, these, if you try and do all that lot manually without having the systems and automations in place, then you are going to be working every hour God sends, because there's no systems and there's no automations in your business. You're having to manually do everything. So if I 10 times the leads, you're going to have 10 more customers to communicate backwards and forwards with every week. You're going to have 10 times more surveys to book in and organise. You're going to have 10 times more jobs to go and look at and view. You're going to have 10 times more jobs to price, 10 times more quotes to create, 10 times more quotes to email out and follow up on, 10 times more deposits and invoices to raise, 10 times as much materials to order, 10 times as many suppliers' invoices to pay, 10 times more labour to organise. The list goes on and on and on. So if you're already working long, stressful hours already, what the hell's going to happen to you and your time and your mindset and your mental health and well-being if you've got to do all that lot by another 10 every week repeatedly to scale and grow your business? You can't do it. There's not enough hours in the day to do it. There's not enough headspace to do it. And if you do try and do it, this is what leads you to where I used to be 18 years ago. This is the exact point I were at 18 years ago, where my marketing, I got my numbers right, I got my marketing right. All of a sudden, I'm getting all these leads coming in and I'm rubbing my hands thinking, this is amazing. I'm going to start making money, but I got no systems in place. I was having to manually do everything myself. And this is what led me to staying up till midnight doing quotes and paperwork and ignoring my family and my loved ones. I should have been spending time with my family evenings and stuff, and I weren't. I got my head buried in my fucking laptop till midnight every night, and I'd look up and my wife and my kids had been in bed. They'd gone. I didn't even notice they'd gone to bed. Or I'm surveying jobs now at evenings and weekends, and then I'm trying to squeeze one in during the day if I've got time for a lunch break. So now my evenings and my weekends have been consumed because I'm having to survey jobs. Yeah. Or I'm falling that far behind because I can't keep up with the leads. I'm now having to work a Saturday shift. So now I'm working 6 days a week. And even on Sundays when I had odd day off, I weren't present because my head was somewhere else, because I was constantly thinking about all the things I'd not done and I'd still got to do, and I was dreading Monday morning coming. And all that leads to is overwhelm, stress, anxiety, burnout, negative mindset. That's what that leads to. So we can't just focus on marketing, because if we focus on marketing and we haven't got the systems in place to cope with all the influx of leads coming in, then we're going to end up in a pickle where I used to be and where a lot of my inner circle members are when they first joined my program. This is where they're exactly at. So I got to work on putting systems and processes and procedures and even basic automations, and I'm talking 15, 16 years ago, we were using basic automations like automated emails, automated text messages, like 15 years ago. And the technology that we used back then, what we cobbled together, it was called Microsoft SharePoint. That was the system that we started using. And when I look back then, I'm like, flipping out, I nailed it all them years ago. Yet in today's day and age, when we've got apps and software and APIs and AI at his fingertips, where we can literally run our entire businesses from our mobile phone, yet still people haven't systemized the businesses. Still people are saying, oh, I'm not very computer savvy. I'm not tech savvy. I'm not very clever on all this lot. So what you're going to do, let your limiting beliefs turn you into a busy fool for the next 40 years. So you're going to graft your bollocks off for 40 years because you can't be bothered to either learn it or find someone who can do it for you. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely crazy that in today's modern day and age, you haven't got your businesses systemized to holy hell, running like clockwork without you having to do hardly anything manually in it. Because that's where I'll get you to. That's where I get my inner circle members to. And that's where you need to be at if you're going to scale your business. So with that in mind, there are 3 different types of systems that you need to have running in your trades or construction business. And these are the main 3 pieces of software or systems that are going to run the entire business and is going to become, let's say, the ecosystem that runs everything from a lead coming in all the way through to that final invoice being raised and the automated text message going out requesting a 5-star review and a video testimonial and everything in between. So write down these 3 different types of software. Number 1, you're going to need accountancy software, such as QuickBooks, Xero, FreeAgent, Sage. There's loads of them out there now, but you are going to need that software. And thankfully, for most businesses now, which is unusual for me to say the majority have got something, but the majority of businesses have got Xero or QuickBooks as an example. What they're not doing is they're not using it. Their accountancy software is not kept up to date. So at the end of every week, our accounts in all my businesses are reconciled every Friday. So my accounts are brought up to date every week. That means all the sales invoices are on, and that means all the purchase invoices are on. On top of all that, our gross profit, net profit, balance sheet, profit and loss statements, all of the numbers that I've told you to go and check out, we've got set up in our accountancy software where I can literally click a button and pull off a report and it tells me all the financial statements of all my businesses at the click of a button because everything's kept up to date. In fact, every Monday morning at 9 a.m, I have an email triggered automatically from my accountancy software that gives me every single stat and number and figure and KPI that I need to know about each one of my businesses. I'm on top of everything. Are you? I mean, let's face it, a lot of trades businesses haven't even got the payment terms sorted. You're not taking deposits or interim payments. Most of you, or a lot of you, will get to the end of the job, and because you're that busy focusing on the next job, you don't even get your bloody invoices out on time. It can be weeks or, in fact, even months further down the line before you've actually got your invoices out. I mean, how crazy is that? Your job as a business owner, as the finance director of your business, is to get your profit in your bank as quick as you can. So it's okay having the accountancy software, brilliant, but if, one, you don't know how it works, there's only your accountant who knows how it works, how can you read your business numbers? You can't. If you've got the software, but you're not keeping it up to date, so you're miles behind on bringing your invoicing up to date and putting all your purchase invoicing on, if all that lot's miles behind, then how can you get a grip of your numbers? You can't. So, yes, it's okay having the software, But come on, you've got to understand how it works. You don't have to become an accountant. You just have to understand how it works and how you can pull these reports off at the click of a button that'll tell you exactly where your business is. So that's software number one. Software number two is what I call job management software. And this is software that's solely dedicated to the project managing and running of your jobs. Okay? So dealing with the customer and communication between your customer and yourself. Communication between you and your team. Letting your team have all the information about every single job in advance. So you're not having to go to a job and explain what's happening. They can do it all themselves. Having some basic automation that can trigger between you and your customers. Making sure that your team are ticking things off that they've done on the job so you know that it's been done. And the customer gets notified it's been done. That could be something as simple as at the end of every day, you take a photograph of what you've done, you put it into your software, that notifies you and it notifies the customer that that's what you've done that particular day. Are you with me? So anything to do with the running of that job and the organisation of that job needs to be in some software, because you can't run 10 jobs and deal with 10 different customers and 10 different teams and ordering materials for 10 different jobs and sorting 10 lots of labour out. You can't deal with all that if you're trying to do it all manually, can you? You need one central hub where everybody logs into and uploads and updates everything. So I'm going to give you 3 pieces of software that you might want to go away and check out. Okay. So number 1 is a piece of software called Tradify. Tradify. And this is software that does basically what I've just shared with you, but it's more designed, in my opinion, it's more designed for smaller businesses or one-man bands or one-woman bands, yeah? So maybe it's just you and an apprentice. Tradify for a small business, you and an apprentice, or maybe you and an engineer or you and a fitter. Tradify sound. But as you start to grow and scale your business and you have more team and you have more jobs running and you've got more orders and more labour to sort out, I believe Tradify you're going to outgrow. Tradify won't take you to that next level. So to take you to that next level, I'm going to recommend 2 other pieces of software. The first one is called CommuSoft. And the second one is called ServiceMate. ServiceMate, right? Both ServiceMate and CommuSoft are pieces of software that's going to allow you to scale and grow your business and you'll not outgrow the software. Are you with me? So if you are serious about growing and scaling your business and you know that the vision is to end up with, let's say, 6 members of your team, 2 or 3 vans, 2 or 3 jobs running at any one time, then I would go straight for ServiceMate or CommuSoft because you're going to outgrow Tradify. All right? So you need some job management software. The third piece of software that you're going to need is software that's going to manage your marketing and your lead generation and your sales. Okay? So your marketing and your leads, so when the lead comes into your business, where does it go? And then what sales pipeline have you got that's managing that lead or that customer at every single stage that you need to get them down to become a paying customer? So when I'm talking about sales pipelines, I'm talking about different stages that you need to get each customer to along that journey. So for example, the lead comes in, then what happens? Well, we need to vet them. All right. So how are you going to vet them? Then once you've vetted them, what happens next? Oh, we book them into a diary because we do a home survey. All right. So that's another stage on the pipeline. Book them into the diary. Then what happens? Well, then we go and do a site survey. Okay. Then what happens? Then we produce a quote. Then what happens? Well, then we follow the quote up. So straight away there's 6 stages that need to happen just to get to a point of following the quote up. Are you with me? Each one of them stages would sit on a sales pipeline in a marketing and sales piece of software. And then that manages all of your marketing and your sales, but the job management then manages the running of the job. Are you with me? So once you've got a piece of software, and I'm going to recommend one piece of software to you because this is the only one that we use and we'd recommend. We've tried a whole host of others over years, but the number one on the dogs is Leadzilla. Leadzilla, right? Leadzilla is a piece of software that will deal with all of your marketing. So you can schedule your social media posts, you can build vetting forms, you can build landing pages, you can build lead magnets, you can build websites, drag and drop template websites. You can do all that yourself inside Leadzilla. You can also then build your sales pipeline so you can see all these different stages and you can see where all your customers are in each one of them stages. And then sat behind each one of them stages, you might want to trigger some automation. So, for instance, when you book a customer in to do, let's say, a home or site survey or visit, you want to trigger an email and a text message off to that customer, confirming the time and the date, along with a link to watch a video of you introducing yourself and your business and explaining to them what you're going to do on the survey, right? All that lot can be done automated inside Leadzilla. So it doesn't only just look after your marketing, your entire marketing. It doesn't only look after all your sales. It looks after all your automations and your text messages and your automated emails all in one piece of software. It's insane. Okay? So once you've got them 3 pieces of software, your business has got all the systems in place and they are all speaking to each other. So when the lead comes into Leadzilla, and that's going to deal with the sales side of it and the marketing, at a certain point when that job, you've got given the go-ahead on that job, we need to take that information out of Leadzilla and automatically send it into ServiceMate. Because ServiceMate is the piece of software that's going to run the actual job itself. And then what we do, connected into Leadzilla, we connect QuickBooks or Xero. So all your accounts, all your invoicing is all being done at the same time. So all these 3 pieces of software, we connect together. So your accountancy software is talking to Leadzilla. Leadzilla's talking to your job management software, which is your ServiceMate. Everything's talking and transferring information from one piece of software to another one. So you've got to get on with building these systems. It's all right having the leads, but there's no point in having all these leads if you're having to manually do everything. We need the systems to take care of the leads. Okay? So 2 episodes that I'm going to suggest that you go away and listen to for systems are episode number 13 and episode number 17. So that's 13 and 17, and they'll give you a lot more depth and information of what you need to do to systemize your business. So area number 5, which is the final backbone, the final foundation that you need to put into your business, is your team. Building your team. Because you cannot scale and build a profitable business without a team. Trust me, I tried it 30 years ago when I first set up my business. I tried doing everything myself and it nearly killed me. It burnt me out. You are going to need a team if you're going to scale. Now, maybe you're at a point in your business where you've looked at it and you think, do you know what, Craig? I don't want a big team. I've tried it, just nothing but hassle. And I get that. You might just say, well, listen, I'm happy with me, an apprentice and another fitter engineer. That's great. You still need to put these 5 areas in place to prevent you from being a busy fool. But you don't have to scale your business and have to have a business that's got like 10, 20, 30 members of your team, do you? You can build and grow a profitable business that's going to earn you some very, very good, healthy net profits with just having a small team. So you don't have to have a big team. But the point I'm making is you are going to need someone because you can't do it all yourself. Now, you also need a team to help you to scale the jobs that you're doing, because you can't be in 3 places at once, can you? And remember, when we get the numbers right and when we're bringing in the right amount and quality of leads, that means that every job that we do from that point on, or every additional job that we do, equals more profit. So technically, at this point, the more jobs that you've got running, the more profit you will be making, because you understand the numbers and you've now attracted those leads to your business. So you're not going to put a cap on your profit margins any longer, because the more team you have, the more profit you're going to make, because you're building your business the right way and you're no longer winging it. But let's be honest, how frustrating can it be employing a team? Because if you've employed anyone, whether that's beyond books or a subcontractor, I'm sure at some point you've had some grief, or grief's been caused by that employee or subby that's come back that's cost you. So trying to find trustworthy, honest, reliable, well-mannered trades in today's day and age is a challenge. It's not impossible, but it's a challenge if you've not got the right strategies. And sometimes we can feel like just having a team, it's like babysitting grown-ass adults, isn't it? Sometimes it's like they just ain't got any common sense. You know, they're ringing you up every day, every couple of hours. What do I do here? I don't know what to do here. I don't know what to tell customer. What do you want me to tell them? I've run out of materials. Can you order me this? It's like, what? Or they're turning up late to a customer. You've told customer that they're going to be there at 8 o'clock. 20 past 8, customer's ringing you. Where are you? I mean, how bad does that look? Or, even worse, not turning up at all. Maybe they've gone out on lashover weekend and a Monday morning, and they knock on us on a Monday morning. You get that phone call or that text message if they bottle it. Oh, I feel ill. I'm not very well today. I'm not coming in. And then you've got to your day just goes to shit. Your week goes to shit, because now you've got to rearrange everything because somebody's knocked on a Monday morning. Or they're playing around, tossing it off, messing about on the phone, looking at reels, playing Candy Crush, doing whatever they're doing on the phones, constantly on the phones when they should be working. Turning up and not wearing your uniform. You've given them your uniform, they've got a branded uniform to wear, but they rock up with tracksuit bottoms on, or a Nike sweatshirt or a hoodie. Or, what about this one? I'm on my high horse here, so let me just get it off my chest, right? Or what about this one? Job's running over, right? So they finish a job and it's like, I've got to go back to that job tomorrow. Why have you got to go back? Well, there's about an hour's worth of work left to do, half an hour's work. Well, why didn't you just fucking stay and do it? Why didn't you just work through your dinner? I'd have paid you extra. I'd have paid you for that extra half hour, but no. We finish work at 4:30 and I've got to get back for me tea. So now you've got to go back to the job next day. So you've got to put them your future customers off. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then they make mistakes on jobs. Simple school boy and girl errors. They've put plug socket in wrong place, or they've put stud wall up in wrong place, or they've done this, or they've knocked something over now and they've spilt something on customer's carpet. And all this lot is costing you time and it's costing you money. And the list just goes on and on and on. Now, there's only two reasons and two reasons only why you're going to employ a team. It doesn't come down to anything other than these two things. Make sure you write these things down. You know what they are, but you're overlooking them. The only two reasons why you employ a team is, number one, to save you time. To save you time. You're bringing a team so that you don't have to do everything. And that doesn't matter whether it's an admin person helping you with the admin, or a bookkeeper doing the bookkeeping, or an apprentice on the tools, or another fitter or engineer on the tools. You bring a team in to save you time and free it up so you can start investing that back into your business in one of these 5 areas. Number 2, to make you more net profit. To make you more profit. You're bringing in a team to save you time, but while they're saving you time, they've got to be making you profit. Or otherwise, what on earth is the point of you having all the stress of employing a team if they're not saving you time and if they're not making you more profit? And if you were to start to understand the numbers in your business, I am telling you now, you've got some employees or you've got some subbies that are wasting your time and that are costing you profit. You've got them. I'm telling you now, you've got them. So you've got a question. If you're sat there thinking, do you know what, Craig, I can think of somebody straight away. Someone straight away that's negative. Someone straight away that's always moaning and groaning. Someone straight away that's whatever, right? Someone straight away that keeps costing me money. Someone straight away that's always late to customers' jobs. Why are you employing them? Why are you employing people that aren't saving you time and making you profit? It just goes against business rules, doesn't it? So here's what you're going to do to sort this out, right? And you might have got to sort some employees or subbies out now that might need moving on, right? Move them on. But when we replace them or when we bring anybody else back into our business moving forward, we have to follow this structure, right? And what I want you to imagine to start off with, I want you to imagine that every one of your employees or subbies are walking around with a hand grenade in their hand, right? And this is a live hand grenade. And at any one time, they can pull the pin out of that hand grenade, and you don't know when they're going to do it. It's up to them when they do it, because you're not in control of their time, are you? You're not on the jobs with them, having to watch them every 5 minutes. We can't be babysitting people. We've got to leave them to it. So you don't know what's going off. You can't see and hear what's going off. So at any time, they can pull that hand grenade, that pin out of that hand grenade. And when they pull the pin out of that hand grenade, that is going to cause you stress. That is going to cause you loss of time, loss of money. The job's going to end up getting put back. It's going to cause you some kind of distress, right, when they pull the pin. So what I mean by this is, if they come to your business and start working for you, your job is to take that hand grenade out of their hands before they've even started working for you. Before they've even crossed that white line and they've started on day one. Take the hand grenade off them. And what I mean by this is this. You have got absolutely no idea of things such as work ethic, their attitude, their manners, their timekeeping, their communication skills between them and your other members of your team, the communication skills between them and your customer, their standards of workmanship, their values, their morals, their beliefs. You've got absolutely no idea what they're bringing to your table. So how do you know what their work ethic, attitude, manners, timekeeping, communication skills, standard of workmanship, values, morals and beliefs is? You don't. You don't know what it is. So if you're just going to take a punt on taking somebody on because you're over capacity, because you don't know the numbers. You don't know that you're over capacity. It's all of a sudden is, I've got too much work on. I need more trades. Does anybody know a joiner, a plasterer, a sparky, a plumber, a roofer, a flooring contractor? Does anybody know any? We've got all this work on. I'm under pressure. Someone goes, yeah, I know someone. Here's Fred. He'll do. Fred, start on Monday. This is what I'll pay you. I'll give you a trial. Go to this job. Go and see Dave. Dave will look after you. If that's what you're doing and you're letting them in to your business with an hand grenade, not knowing the work ethic, not knowing their attitude, not knowing the manners, the timekeeping, the communication, standards of workmanship, values, morals and beliefs, if you're letting them in, any one of them areas can explode on you. The manners might be terrible to your customer. They might piss your customer off. Right, therefore, pull the pin. Boom, you've got your customer on your bike having a right chunt at you. Get this bloke off this job, right? Your relationship with that customer's gone, and you know now that you're going to get problems getting paid from that customer. Yeah, it could be that their attitude stinks. Maybe they think they're some kind of odd man. Right, they've been on sites and all this, and they come on and they start pissing off your other good lads because of their attitude. Maybe their work ethic's poor. Maybe they are and have been able to get away with having 40 minutes for break in the morning, hour and a half for dinner. Maybe they have been allowed to get away to going to builders merchants or wholesalers twice in a day to toss it off, right? This is what you're bringing to your business. And when they pull that pin, it causes grief. Now, if you've got one employee or subby that pulls the pin, maybe you can contain that explosion. But what happens when your team starts to grow? And all of a sudden, in 1 week, 3 of your team decide to pull a pin out of that hand grenade, and now you've got 3 explosions that you can't control, and now the shit's hit the fan, right? Now you've got problems. So you need to make sure that you take the hand grenade away from them before they've even started, and here's how you're going to do it. So make sure that you write this down and you make a note of this. I want you to write down the words rules of the game. Rules of the game, right? And what you need to identify up front before anybody comes and works for you, you need to identify what are the rules of them playing your game in your business. You're the boss, you're the employer. They should do what you want them to do. But if you don't own their relationship and they start to own your relationship, then they'll naturally gravitate to doing what they are used to doing. And that might go against the rules. That might rub you up the wrong way. That might frustrate you or annoy you or keep you awake at night. So you need to establish what are the rules of someone coming to work for me. And what I want you to do is I want you to get 3 pieces of paper or 3 Google Drive documents. And on one of the pages, I want you to write down all of the things that you want and you are expecting this new team member to do. You write down all of the things that you want them to do. Because they're not mind readers. They don't know specifically what you want them to do in your particular business. They're bringing all that bad experience from working from other people and what they've been allowed to get away with working for other employers. They're bringing that to your door. So if you want them to do something specific, you've got to tell them, or else otherwise they don't know. And then they'll default to doing what they want to do, which is going to rub you up the wrong way. So you write down all of the things that you want and you are expecting them to do. So, example, if you want your team to be ordering their own materials on the job or picking the materials up on a job, but they can't just be going willy-nilly through day and tossing it off. If you want them to be outside builders merchants at 7:30 in the morning, load up what you need for that day and then get to the job for 8:30, then you need to tell them that. Or otherwise, they'll be the one that goes, oh, I've run out of screws, lads. I'm just going to nip down to builders merchants for some screws. And then they go, 2 hours later, they come back with a box of screws. And then an hour later, it's, oh, lads, I've run out of silicon. I'm just going to nip down to Screwfix to get some silicon. And then they bugger off for another 2 hours. Are you with me? So you've got to establish what these rules are. Tell them what you want them to do. So if you want them to order materials, tell them, I want you to order materials. If you want them to be sending you through content off each job, maybe a couple of photos at job, maybe a quick video of the job, so you can use that in your marketing content. If you want them to be sending you photos, they need to be told that this is what I'm expecting you to do. So you write down everything that you want them to do up front on one piece of paper, right? Then on the second piece, you write down all of the things that you do not want them to do and they cannot do. All the things that wind you up and frustrate you and annoy you, you've got to get them out of your head and you've got to get them down onto paper. So if you do not want them coming in their own work gear, Nike tracky bottoms and Adidas tracky top, you've got to tell them, you can't do this. You must come in my uniform. You get me? If you don't want them driving round as a passenger in one of your vans with the boots on your dashboard, with McDonald's cups and Costa coffee cups and delivery tickets rammed all around dashboard of your van, if you do not want them to do that, you've got to tell them you can't do that. Or otherwise, they don't know and they will do it. If you don't want your subbies or your team smoking outside or on customers' property and flicking tab ends all over the garden, you've got to tell them. Are you with me? So you write down a list of all the rules that you want them to do and you're expecting them to do, and you write down another one of the rules that they cannot do and you are not expecting them to do, right? Then the third sheet of paper or Google Drive document is you write down, right, what am I prepared to tolerate? What are the consequences of anyone breaking my rules, employed or subbies, right? Because if they're continuously breaking your rules and everybody else can see that they're breaking your rules and you're not doing anything about it, you're basically saying, I've got these rules, but anybody can take the piss out of me. And then that leaves the back door open for all the other people to start thinking, well, hang on a minute, he can get away with it, so why can't I? If he can get away with dropping his son or daughter off on way to school and rock up 20 minutes late every morning, then guess what I'm going to do? Are you with me? You've got to start as you mean to go on. You've almost got to be cruel to be kind to yourself. So by having the rules of the game, this is what I'm expecting you to do, and sitting down and running through them rules so they understand it, and then saying, look, you can't do this. Please don't do things such as bang, 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 bang. And you explain that to them. And then you're honest and upfront and you say, listen, if you break my rules, then this is what's going to happen, right? Number one, you get a verbal warning. Number two, you might get a written warning. Number three, if it happens again, you're gone. Subby or employed member of staff, and all that lot's written into your employment and subcontractors agreements that you should have. So you've got to take control of this relationship, and by doing this, which I know is going to push some of you outside your comfort zone to do it, but if and when you do this, I'm telling you now, you've took the hand grenade out of people's hands, and then all of a sudden, all of your team are singing from the same hymn sheet. All of the team are abiding by your rules, and then all of the team have got rules for one, and that's it. It's not a case of, well, how comes he lets him do that, but he don't let me do it? Are you with me? You can't have any of that as you're growing your team, because if you do, you'll end up with anarchy, and you'll end up with arguments, and you'll end up with stress. Remember, building a team is designed to make you more profit and to save you time. And how you're going to do those two things, you're going to introduce your own rules of the game. Now, we don't call it, I call it in coaching spiel, I do call it rules of the game. But for my employees or my freelancers, I call it my employer's handbook. It just softens it a bit, all right? And you're not going to go in with consequences, or you're going to get fired and all this. You're going to say, look, if for some reason you consistently are doing things that you're not supposed to do, then this is what's going to happen. You'll get a verbal warning, you'll get a written warning, and if it continues, then your employment, whether the subbies or employed members of staff, will be terminated, right? Here's your subcontractors agreement that explains all this. Sign it. Please tell me you're getting all your subbies to sign subcontractors agreements. And here's your employment contract and your job description for your employees. Sign it. And then when they've signed that, they can't, technically, they're not going to break your rules. The odd one might do, and you pull them back into line and explain to them, listen, this has happened. I understand. Please don't do it again, right? But as a boss, as an employer, right, you've got to become a strong leader. You've got to lead by example. And if you're going to let people push you around and dictate to you what's happening in your business, or if you're scared of confrontation, then you're going to struggle to grow your team. Because at the top of a good team is always a good leader. Always, always, always. Look at all the best sports teams in the world. They bring the best players in, i.e. you're going to bring the best tradesmen and women in. So you choose your own team. You bring your own transfers in. You bring your own team in, right? The best players have got to play by the rules of whatever game they're playing. Football, rugby, whatever it is. So you set your rules like a football match sets their rules. And then you're the coach, and the better the coach, the better the manager, the better the leader, right? Look at Pep Guardiola as an example. Look at Alex Ferguson. Look at people like that. They are good leaders, right? And they lead by example, and they lead by establishing what their rules are with their players before they can play their game. You just need to do the exact same with your business. You set the rules of the game, you bring in your own players, the players play to your rules, you win the game. If anybody steps out of line, then you're dealing with. Part and parcel of running a business. So you must make sure that you do this, okay? Now, 2 episodes I'm going to share with you that are going to go into more detail around rules of the game and employing a team are episode number 8, episode 8 and episode number 15. 8 and 15 are the ones I want you to go and check out for building your team. So there you have it. They are the 5 backbones of every single business. Every one of you. You've got to get them right. And again, if we were rewinding and we were building a business from scratch and doing it the right way, you do it in the order in which I've just shared with you. So let's just have a quick recap on where we've gone. Area number one is the mindset. As a business owner, you've got to develop that growth mindset, which means you've got to work on yourself. And when you work on yourself and you get your mindset right, you get motivated, you're taking massive action, you'll get massive results. So remember, the business is never the problem. The problem is always the mindset of the business owner. So number one, we're going to start with getting that mindset right. Then what you would do in a new business is just say, right, before I even sell any products or any services, before I even waste my time on any time wasting customers or breaking even or making a loss, I need to understand what these numbers are. So you're going to understand what the numbers are and how they work. And then you're going to go, right, out of all of the things that I can do for my trade, I can do it all, but I'm not going to do it all. I'm going to work out of everything that I do, what is the most profitable product and service that I can offer. Because if that's all I'm offering, or maybe 2 or 3 products and services that I'm offering, right, then it's going to be so much easier to, one, market those products and services, because I'm not having to market 20, I'm marketing 2 or 3. And it's going to be so much easier to systemize my business, because I'm only systemizing my business for 3 customer journeys, not 20. Are you with me? So we get the numbers right. The numbers then transfer over to area number 3, which is the marketing strategy. So now we understand what the numbers are, and now we understand what products and services are going to make us profit. Now we get laser focused on identifying the target market for each one of them products and services, because remember, they're going to be different. We get the marketing messaging correct for each of them products and services that we're going to offer. And then we go down the route of creating content that gets people to know us, like us, trust us, and build confidence in us. And when we start to adapt that strategy, all of a sudden, we'll start to generate more profitable leads coming into our business for those profitable products and services that's going to make us all that profit. Area number 4. Great having those leads, but come on, we can't cope with 10, 20 extra leads coming into your business every day, every week, every month. We haven't got enough time in the day to do it. So what do we need to do? As we're working on the marketing and marketing our business and the leads start to trickle in, it's then right. Before they start avalanching in, we need to work on the systems. So let's get our accountancy software set up, get all the numbers right, get all the reports right, get everything kept up to date. Then let's go and get something like ServiceMate. Let's get ServiceMate subscribed to. Let's start using ServiceMate to project manage the jobs. But to deal with all the leads coming in and the marketing and everything else that we need to do and all that automations, them emails, them texts and that customer journey and that sales pipeline, let's go and get Leadzilla. And then let's get them 3 pieces of software speaking to each other so that when the leads come in, the business is now being taken care of because the systems are now starting to run the entire business and you're not having to stay up till daft o'clock doing everything manually. Now, once we've got that working and the systems are running the business, it's then a case, and only then, right, now I've got the profitable leads coming in and the business is taking care of the running of it. Now I'm going to bring in a team because all I need to do now is scale. And the only way in which I'm going to be able to scale this business is by bringing more team members in to do more of this profitable work that's coming in on tap. And then what you do is you establish the rules of the game, you bring in the right employees or subcontractors, sign them up to a subcontractors agreement, sign them up to a employer's contract and job description, bring them in, and then the team are singing to the same hymn sheet as everybody else. They are working to the systems that you've put in place. The systems are being run by the lead generation that's now coming in. And the leads that are coming in are now coming in from the profitable work that you've identified through the numbers. And all of that lot starts with you having a growth mindset and an understanding that this is how businesses are built, grown, and scaled. So I know that's a lot. And I said at the beginning of this episode, this is going to be a longer than normal episode. But I wanted to give you that backbone. I wanted to give you all 5 in one episode rather than doing one week, one next, and it taking 5 weeks. I've given you the whole lot. It's now up to you to determine Number one, if you're an existing business, what are those 5 areas do you need to improve on? If you're honest with yourself, you might say, Craig, honestly, mate, it's all 5. I'm struggling on all 5, really. Okay, start at the beginning. Start with the mindset and work your way through in those 5 orders that I've given you. It always comes back to mindset. It's never about I'm not generating the leads. It's you haven't got the right mindset to generate the leads. It's never about I'm not making enough profit. It's you haven't got the right mindset to understand and learn how to make more profit. It's never about, do you know what, Craig? I ain't got any systems and I'm not tech savvy and I don't even know where to start. It's that you haven't got the right mindset to open yourself up to starting to look into it. And if you can't do it, who can you bring in that can do it? And that's where we need to be. So that's the reason why I've given it you all in a wanna. And remember, I've given you around an additional 8, maybe 9, maybe 10 other episodes to go and back and start listening to that's going to help you on your journey. Now, the likelihood is, having listened to this episode and all my other episodes, you may be sat there week to week listening to this going, Craig, I do need your help. I just don't have the time, or I've not got the resources yet, but I need some help. I need some coaching. I need some mentoring. I need some accountability. I need a kick up my backside to get this lot going. If that's you, then we can help you. We've got you covered. And there's 2 different ways in which you can get involved with us to get all the coaching and accountability that you're going to need. Option 1 is to consider joining our Growth Club. And when you become a member of our Growth Club, you're going to get access to weekly marketing and business coaching live on Zoom with me and my team. We've got training sessions, we have drop-in sessions, accountability sessions each week. And then on top of that, you're going to get access immediately to over 100 other training videos in every area of your business that you need to master. On top of that, you're going to get access to our Growth Club community, which is a private, secret community where every day our Growth Club members are sharing the wins, they're asking for help, they're asking support, but together as a community, we help and support each other inside that positive Growth Club that we've built. Secondly, if you want to fast track all of your success, you can consider joining my Inner Circle. And my Inner Circle is a 12-month marketing and business coaching program where I'm going to personally coach you and your business along with another small group of other trades business owners to guarantee a bare minimum of a business growth over that 12 months by 100% or more. And if I cannot grow your business by 100%, which trust me, we'll do that within 4 months anyway. But if I can't, I give you every penny back. So you've got absolutely no risk whatsoever, but everything to gain. And on average, over the course of the 12 months of being on my Inner Circle, on average, the growth is now at 307% per business. The links to get access to our Growth Club and to our Inner Circle can be found in the show notes and the description of this episode. So it doesn't matter where we are or where you are on this journey, we've got your back covered and we can help and support you get your business and your life to where you want it to be. And I just want to leave you with another one of my popular quotes, and that is, the results that you're looking for is in the work that you're avoiding. Take that on board. The results that you're looking for, they're there. They can be easily obtained, but for whatever reason, whatever excuse you're giving yourself, limiting beliefs, confidence, whatever it is, you're avoiding the work. Well, you're never going to get your business in your life to give you that time and financial freedom when you're shying away from the work that you're avoiding. We've got to roll the sleeves up and we've got to get stuck in. So I'll catch up with you on next week's episode and I'll meet you at the top. Thank you.